Hi, I'm Wade from Thoroughbred Diesel, and today we're going to do a buyer's guide for you for the 01 to 2004 Duramax, Chevrolet, and GMC trucks. This is my personal truck, 2001 Chevrolet 2500 crew cab short bed. I'm going to give you just a little bit of background on the truck because the truck deserves that. When I bought this truck in 2006, this was the exact truck that I wanted. Almost, dare I say, dream truck. It really was. I wanted a ZF6 Duramax. I wanted a crew cab short bed, vinyl floorboard, with power windows, and that's exactly what this truck is. So let's go ahead and get started with the buyer's guide. If you guys are looking for a Duramax truck and you're looking for one of the older ones, the 2001 to 2004 LB7 motor, we're going to start with body because I'll be honest with you, I feel like that's probably the easiest way to start on these trucks. Now, the 01 to 02 is a completely different body style than the 2003 to 2004s are, especially in the Chevrolets. You really don't have a lot of things going on the body on these trucks. Now, you know, there's a little bit of rust on my rocker panels. You guys have seen my other trucks. You know I don't do a worth of crap about taking care of trucks and washing them and whatnot. The rust that's on these rocker panels right here, this is totally from probably could have been avoided, probably just lack of washing here. That's the only place this truck has got rust on it. You know, you just don't have a whole lot of body issues with these vehicles. The 3s and the 4s didn't as well. You know, if you're in a very salty area, you may have other pockets of rust. You can hit us in the comments below and talk to us about where you had rust on your truck specifically. So now let's talk about chassis. Chassis's got a couple of different little things that go on it. So let's talk about the chassis components, driveline components here. We're going to start with the rear differential. The rear differential, American axle on these trucks. Gov locker in these. I think the code on it's a GM 80. Most people I know call them gov lockers. Junk, absolute junk. If you've got one of these trucks, you do a burnout and you find out it's one wheel peel. All these trucks had the GM 80 in it. I think I found out the other day when doing a little bit of research for this, you could have ordered it off the truck. So the GM 80, I'm 99.9% sure that it was standard issue, but you could have had it delivered to you without it. Couple different options for you on there. On this truck, what I did was I just used the limited slip carrier out of a Dodge and put it in there, worked just fine. But the rear axle itself, good axle. American Axle does a good job with the 11.5s. Next component in driveline is going to be transfer case. Everybody knows transfer cases on Duramax trucks, on the Chevrolet trucks, the pump rub issue. If you buy one of these trucks, be looking for a leaking transfer case. Be looking for a transfer case that has been taken off the truck, JB weld on it or something like that. A lot of different fixes out there for those. A lot of good companies, Merchant Automotive, one of the first ones that comes to mind, that does a pump rub fix for these trucks. Full instructions on that. We carry that kit on the website. Guys, like and subscribe to our channel, as we always say in the videos, but we really appreciate you guys in the comments talking to us about what trucks you want to see us to do next. This video series that we're doing on these platform trucks, we're just doing them on what we've got around the shop, what all of us drive, what I drive, what Adam drives, what Chris drives. Chris, what do you drive? You drive an Eco Diesel. It doesn't matter. But like in the comments down here, or put something in the comments about what truck you want us to do next, and we'll try to rouse one up and do it for you. Thank you. My transmission is a ZF6. It is a 6-speed standard. Didn't have a lot of problems with the ZF6. However, the clutches were a big issue in these trucks. This came with a single disc clutch in them from the factory and a dual mass flywheel. The dual mass flywheel, absolute junk. You know, this truck and all the other trucks that I've known, driving down the interstate, once the dual mass flywheel gets some heat to it or whatever, you go to pull off the interstate and go push the clutch pedal down, it goes to the floor and it stays there. So that was fixed by going to single mass flywheels. That's what we carry from our clutch manufacturers that we carry here. So if you find a ZF6 truck, you're lucky enough to get one, first thing you're going to have to do is change the clutch out in it. Absolutely. The Allisons, everybody knows that the Allison's a great transmission. You know, they are not as good in stock form about holding power. like some of the other ones out there. A lot can be done to that. There is tons and tons of aftermarket products for Allison transmissions. You know, obviously full transmissions, valve bodies, torque converters, a lot of good companies out there that are doing upgrades for those. If you're going to try to make power on the truck with an Allison, I definitely suggest that you address that first off and get your transmission shored up before you start trying to make power on it, because it's just not going to have anything above 500 horsepower. You're going to have problems out of the transmission in stock form. So make sure that you take care of that. All right, I'm going to say another point about ZF6. Real hard to get parts for ZF6s for the Chevrolets right now, so you've got to be aware of that going into it. That's another thing that we're kind of working on, trying to find a better way to go there. Now let's talk about front differentials. The front diff on this truck, not any problem. This is Chevrolet's independent front suspension. There are a couple of different things inside of the front end. If you're going to try to make power in the truck and you're going to use it in a competitive setting, if you're going to truck pull or you're going to drag race it, you've got to address the tie rods first off. The tie rods on Chevrolets, everybody knows, they're just delicate, they're dainty, for lack of a better word. They're just not going to hold up to power. You do a four-wheel drive boosted launch on this out on Saturday night out trying to show off in front of your buddies, you're going to screw some stuff up. So don't do that. We all know that, we've seen those pictures. Center link on the trucks needs to be addressed as well. If you're using it in a competitive application, make sure you take care of that, and all those upgraded products we have on our website as well. Front hubs on the Duramaxes were not the best. I've had to put a couple of hubs on this truck as well. I think you'll find if you have these, you may have a hub problem with it. You know, pretty easy on change out. You buy the hub as a full assembly and away you go. Let's talk interior for just a second. I think we're done on chassis there. Everything on driveline, yeah, good to go. Talk about interior on these trucks just a little bit. Now, you guys like to pick on me because, again, I don't keep the cleanest truck, but you know, the interiors, 01, 02 trucks didn't have any problems really. I've got a rip in my seat right here is the only other thing. My center console was showing just a little bit of wear there, but other than that, you know, interior I haven't had any problems with. The truck sat for a little while, so my headliner's starting to come down. That's actually something I'm going to work on this weekend, but the rest of my headliner looks good as far as that goes. ZF6 trucks, it's funny, I'll show you this. You guys have got ZF6 will get a kick out of it. On the 6-speed trucks, when you go into first gear, it hits the dash. They're all like that, aggravating. So eventually you figure out where your sweet spot is on that, and you don't hit it anymore. Gauges on the 01 and 02 trucks were fine, but gauges on the 2003 to 2004 trucks, I don't think I've ever ridden in a truck that all the gauges work correctly. Stepper motors go bad in them. So we've got a lot of different mouse traps for that too, to kind of get you out of that. So I think that's going to cover us pretty well on the interior. Adam, if you want to, we'll flow right into engine. The 2001 to 2004 model years had the coveted LB7 Duramax. Now, again, my motor, I've done a couple of different things on it as far as trying to eliminate a few things that make these trucks really hard to work on. I've been into this motor several times for different things, test injectors that we've put on it and so on. But the LB7 motor, everybody knows the Achilles heel of this motor is the injectors. The 502 code Bosch Duramaxes, which is your stock injectors on these trucks, very problematic. In fact, they were so problematic that Chevrolet did a campaign on these to warranty them for 200,000 miles. The problem with the 502 code Duramax or 502 Bosch injector bodies was twofold. Had quite a few of the bodies that would crack, and it would fill the crankcase full of diesel fuel, and the nozzles weren't the best, so the nozzles would wear out, and that's where you got the hazy smoky idle. And you know, this is at the youngest of this series was 15 years ago. So those things have been addressed. There's a lot of really good products out there right now, so you don't have to worry about injector failures on these trucks, but it was definitely a issue in stock form. The 2001, 2002 models were very bad about popping head gaskets. That was addressed in 2003. Duramaxes are still susceptible to head gasket failures, but the 01s and 02s you've really got to be careful about. Make sure if you take the truck out, drive it, and warm it up, looking for white smoke or a hazy idle, let the truck get warm, shut it off, come back after a couple hours, grab the upper radiator hose. If you still got pressure on the radiator hose, that means one of two things. You've either got a head gasket issue or you've got a cup seal issue inside of the injectors. So could be one of the two problems, but something that you need to watch out for. If you get the truck affordable, again, these trucks are older, you should be able to get it for an affordable price. You get it for an affordable price, make sure that you know if you've got an injector problem, or perhaps you buy a truck that's got a blown head gasket like I did with this one, make sure you leave enough money to be able to get back to you and to be able to correct those problems. But other than that, I say that after everything on the motor. Talk one thing about making power on this motor too. It's something that needs to be addressed. Anything above, and I'm going to say this is just a personal preference for me, it just depends on your tuning, but anything above 550 horsepower, you've really got to watch on the LB7 motors, because the rods are going to start shortening themselves up on you so just a little bit. So if you're going to try to build a motor, if you're going to try to make big power on these trucks, you got to pull the motor out first off, put a set of rods in it, do that first, the head and all the normal good stuff. But this is just a fun truck to drive. I enjoy driving the Duramaxes. You know, Adam and I, we spend a lot of time in our 2011. It's our shop truck. It's LML. We'll be doing a review on that truck. I like the motor. You know, I like the truck. I like everything about it. So I definitely would suggest this one to be one to put it in your put in your search. If you're looking for a diesel truck to play with, to have fun with, I definitely suggest Duramax. If you want to add one to your fleet at home because you're going to buy a camper or something, this is another good truck for that. So this is kind of a long one, a lot of things to talk about with this platform, but something that we enjoy doing. So if you have a question about this, hit us in the comments. You want to tell us a story about your truck, let us know in the comments. If you don't like my truck, you need to tell me that I need to start cleaning on my interior, cleaning on my exterior. It's all fine, man. I hear it all the time. So we appreciate you watching as always. Like and subscribe to our channel. And again, anything you want to tell us, hit us in the comments. We'll get to it. Thanks for watching.